On today's edition of the Thrivetime Show, we talk about why being passionate about something doesn't mean that you're right about something, and why being passionately wrong doesn't make you right. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it's now time for another edition of the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, today's show has the power to be a game changer for you. But, Jason, I had some housekeeping I wanted to share with the Thrive Nation real quick here.
Let's hear it.
Many people at the last in-person workshop. I don't know how I got on the conversation. I'm not sure when it started or where it started. But it seems like a lot of people came up to me and let me know they did not know that we have more podcasts than what you can just find in the iTunes feed.
This is true.
Because the iTunes feed, I think, only shows 100 podcasts. And we have right now just under 1,700 shows. So I just want to make sure if you're out there and you're going, oh my gosh, where can I find these? All you got to do is just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Just go to thrivetimeshow.com. And there you can play the podcast and find all of them. Because we have every week 9 shows we put out. So also I have almost 1,000 other shows that I haven't even started editing yet. Recordings we've done, interviews we've done. So I want to make sure everybody knows we have a lot of shows there that you can find. You can find those at thrivetimeshow.com. But let's go ahead and start off on today's topic. Today's topic is passionately being wrong doesn't make you right.
Ooh.
Dr. Breck, have you ever found yourself being passionately wrong about something? I know I have.
Yes.
Especially in my younger career, earlier days.
Right.
I thought all brides wanted massive fog machines at their wedding.
If they don't, I'm in trouble.
I thought, though, I remember I started DJConnection.com.
But they didn't.
And I told Vanessa I got to buy my wife, at the time, girlfriend, as we were starting the business. I said, we got to get a fog machine. I mean, the hot deal. Like the ones I use at the club when I'm DJing at the club. It's the Martin Foggers. You hit down that button. And pretty soon the room is like perfect conditions
Completely
for lasers and lights. And I thought that is the hot move. So I bought the fogger for way too much money, probably $1,000. Go to my first wedding, true story. And I hit that button. And do you know what happened there, Dr. Breck?
It just continued to fill with fog.
Right. And then the fire alarm went off. Then the bride yelled at me.
She couldn't even see her spouse.
And then for our wedding, I thought, no. We want it, though, for our wedding. So I talked to the Holiday Inn Select, to their management crew, and I said, hey, I'm going to use a fogger at my wedding reception, and I want you guys to be prepared for it. So make sure the alarms don't go off or whatever. Like, absolutely. Well, it turns out they can't do anything.
They didn't.
So we're dancing to our first dance. It was Lionel Richie, Do It To Me One More Time. That was our song. And we're dancing to that song, and sure enough, here it comes. And it happened. And I was passionately wrong, but I wanted to be right, and it didn't make it right.
So how did Vanessa handle that situation?
I think she just realized it's par for the course.
Right.
She's like, it has begun. This is how
my life is going to go.
This is how my life is going to go. I think that's probably when she had that moment, had that realization for the 47th time. So again, this just in: being passionately wrong does not make you right. Jason, have you ever been passionately wrong about something?
Yeah.
Okay.
My hair was blonde for like 3 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was not the move, but I thought, keep it going.
Can you explain to the Thrive Nation what you look like and maybe why the blonde look isn't the natural look?
Well, okay, so the closest representation, if you Google Lewis Hamilton, I look kind of like that guy.
And Barack Obama.
I'll take it.
You're kind of like Obama. So you had the blonde hair look.
Yep.
Turned out it wasn't a move.
It was not a move.
People were going, it doesn't seem natural.
No, not at all. No.
Dr. Breck, have you ever had something that you were passionately wrong about?
I mean, especially when we talk about marriage, there's lots of things I've been passionately wrong about. And my wife's happy to tell you that I was wrong.
Okay, so we've all been passionately wrong
been there.
about something. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I coach clients. I help businesses grow. And Jason, we have seen this over and over and over where a client reaches out for help. Mm-hmm. They attend a workshop, and they're 45 years old. 50 years old. Mm-hmm. And their business, they're a good person. Yeah. But their business is not doing very well. It's not succeeding. And, they're a home builder, they're a doctor, they're a dentist, whatever. They build a good home. They build a good home. The homes they build are good. They're a doctor. They do a good job with their patients. They're a dentist. They're very good with the teeth. People say, my incisors are amazing, doctor. Thank you so much for my bicuspids. The whole deal is going. It's great. I love my front teeth. They're so clean. I just want to lick my teeth. We've all seen a great dentist, a great doctor, a great lawyer, a great something. But it turns out there's so much more to growing a successful company than just being good at being a doctor.
That's true.
And so they'll come up to me at the conference and they'll say, hey, I know that that's what you're saying right now. I know you're saying to me that's how Google works. But I heard on a blog that that's not how it works.
Right.
Mm-hmm. My partner, my friend, someone I know in my life who's my cousin, my sister, my neighbor, my partner, my husband, my wife, somebody who knows nothing about business, and somebody who's not top in Google says this is how it works. So I would just say if you're out there today and you Google Tulsa men's haircuts, that's example one that I know what I'm talking about and how Google works. You see the elephant in the room comes up top. Or if you Google Berj Najarian, that's the personal assistant for Bill Belichick, B-E-R-J Najarian. Or if you Google Bill Belichick's #1 fan, that's my newest thing here, Dr. Breck. I'm pretty excited about this one. So if you Google Bill Belichick, let's see, Bill Belichick, I'm typing Bill Belichick's #1 fan. Oh, yes. See, top in Google. So I know what I'm talking about there. If you Google Tulsa optometrists, you'll see Dr. Zellner's top in Google. We know what we're talking about.
Right.
And this show is free. So we're giving you a free show, teaching you what to do. At the workshop, we have a scholarship, so the tickets are $250. But let's just say that you want to attend right now, and you're in a tight spot. All you got to do is leave us a review on iTunes or Google Maps and send us a screenshot, and you can attend the thing for $37.
It's a steal.
It's a great deal.
But at the same time, you have to implement what you're learning.
Oh, yeah. Implementation's huge.
And I find people get passionate, Dr. Breck, when they're wrong.
Yeah.
Why? Help me. I'm trying to help the listeners. Help me.
Sometimes, if you yell louder, people just back off. So you could be wrong, but yet you're the loudest voice. So, the truth, the people that are right, just don't get heard.
Jason, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you help me with some math here? You tell me.
I will do my best.
What percentage of startups fail, according to Forbes? Do you remember?
90%.
And the most conservative, most optimistic estimates say 8 out of 10. Dr. Breck, Psychology Today shows that 70% of men don't like their spouse. 70%.
Right.
That's not that encouraging.
That's not encouraging.
Inc. magazine shows 85% of people lie on their resumes. 85%.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
You're an employer. Do you believe that number?
I actually do.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sad, but I do believe it.
The U.S. Chamber shows that 75% of people steal from the workplace. What? Yeah. So the thing is, most people are passionately going the wrong way through the game of life. They're just going the wrong way, having a good time. Hoppa, hoppa. People are going the wrong way. They don't know where they're going, but they're passionately going the wrong way. People are going the wrong way. People are going the wrong way. The vast majority of people are wrong about everything. The vast majority of people are wrong. Not you, the listener. The vast majority of people are wrong about everything. So what we're going to do on today's show is we're going to attack the problem areas where we get the most pushback from humanity and where the average person is 100% wrong and we are correct. But because most people are wrong, You are taking a vote. You're saying, how many of you think that Google works this way? And the hands go up. Because the vast majority of people are wrong. So 85% of people say this is how Google works. Because they're all wrong. So that when you take a vote and you say, hey, how many of you think it works this way? They're wrong. They're wrong. They are so wrong. This is why when I look at my royalty checks and my checks I get off of things and the income sources I have, this is why I have a check that I found in my wallet the other day for $1,600, and I don't even remember getting it. And this is why I can go to Atwood's and buy things I want. This is why I go to Guitar Center and buy what I want. This is why I have copious amounts of money to do what I want to do. It's because I am right, and I don't care about arguing with you. I'm doing this show to help you. But if you want to argue with me about the Earth's gravitational pull, I don't know what to do if you're going, well, gravity isn't real. It doesn't affect me. Get out of here. Get out of here. Just because you're passionate about trying out for the NBA doesn't mean you're good. So, Jason, please read the first excerpt.
These flat Earth folks.
Flat Earth. Kyrie, by the way, if you're getting any type of life tips at all from Kyrie Irving, there's something wrong. Now, the Rolling Stone interviewed Elon Musk, and we're going to read an excerpt from the Rolling Stone interview with Elon Musk, and then I would like to break it down line by line with my good friend Dr. Breck. So, Jason, please read the excerpt.
Elon Musk says, I was literally told this is impossible, and I'm a huge liar. Musk says of the early days of Tesla, but I have a car, and you can drive it. This is not like a friggin' unicorn. It's real. Go for a drive. It's amazing. How can you be in denial? An unfortunate fact of human nature is that when people make up their mind about something, they tend not to change it. True. Even when confronted with facts to the contrary.
Whoa. So much. So, yeah. Dr. Breck, he's saying in the early days of Tesla, he has a car.
Right.
He's driving it.
It's right there in front of them.
It's real.
As they're interviewing.
You can hit the insane mode and accelerate it.
It's crazy, yeah.
An insane, if you ever get a chance to watch the insane mode of the, go on YouTube today and type in insane mode and watch the Tesla, the acceleration power.
The power curve is like a 45-degree angle, exactly. It never stops.
It's nuts.
The harder you push the pedal, the faster it goes.
And you can see the self-driving car features.
Right.
You can see how little fuel it uses. But it's real, but people are saying
a real thing.
To Elon, he's a liar, even though it's a real freaking
it really
vehicle.
already exists, yeah.
He goes on to talk about how an unfortunate fact of human nature is that when people make up their mind about something, they tend not to change it, even when confronted with the facts to the contrary.
I hate that so bad.
It's very unscientific.
I feel like I live in
Musk
this world.
says.
People look at me and tell me, chiropractic doesn't work. I'm like, okay.
So Dr. Breck, what is something that you've discovered that people are wrong about consistently?
Well, just that. I mean, people will tell me, well, I don't believe in chiropractors. I'm like, well, I'm standing right in front of you. I'm a chiropractor. But yeah, that chiropractic doesn't work. And so, we've been able to help thousands and thousands of patients. And yet people will tell me on a very consistent basis that it doesn't work.
Jason, you're a business coach. You're a consultant. I'd like to get your take on this.
Yeah.
What are things that people are wrong about consistently, but they are just passionate about? Thus, as a coach, it's a weird thing because people are paying you to teach them the proven path.
Yep.
You've been up to the top of the mountain. You've seen clients at our conferences like Shaw Homes who've dramatically grown their company. Going from like $35 million to like $58 million in 2 years. Mm-hmm. You see companies like Papagallo's in Florida just dramatically growing. Companies like Papagallo's, by the way, has grown like 40%.
It's nuts.
You see like Delrick, who went from a startup to making $100,000 a month of profit. You see people like Tip Top Canine, who've gone from one location to 9. And you have all these examples, but when you show it to somebody, they go, I don't know if it works.
Yeah. That doesn't really.
How often does that happen? What are the biggest pushback areas that you see over and over?
So that happens quite often. I hear the phrase, well, I'm in a different industry, or that might apply to me.
Oh, you throw that move out. I'm in a different industry.
Right. But one of the biggest pushbacks I always get is people telling me that, you can't have a consistently planned schedule. And it blows my mind because if you're running a business, how do you not have a schedule every day that you're doing something?
Gosh.
Or even in your personal life. So then I pull up my Google, I pull up your Google Calendar, and I show them, you actually can. And if you put things on there and don't change it, That's how you have a consistent schedule.
Oh my gosh.
Or plan accordingly based off of what you know you need to get done for the week.
Oh, you're hitting a hot button. Now let me tell you something else I get a lot of pushback on. We're going to go through all these areas. There are many areas I get pushback on. We're going to tackle the most common today, and we're going to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, you know what? We're going to just lay it out there for you. We want to help you grow, but I'm going to start with one of my first areas that I hopefully this helps somebody because I know it's going to offend somebody. Okay. In the Bible, there's this book called the Bible, Proverbs 13:20. It writes, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Now, let's say you don't believe in the Bible. Okay, let's just think about this. Whoever you spend your time with, right? Whoever you spend your time with could impact your level of happiness. Let me do an example.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I have taken, I've been on a lot of trips. I've been to nice places. San Diego, been to Mexico, been to Canada, been to Brazil, been to Honduras, been to Trinidad, been there. Okay.
Done that.
And when I go with my wife, doesn't matter where we go, it's always good because she's there. And I like my wife. Now, there are certain people out there that no matter what thing we are doing or no matter where we go, it's awful because they're there.
Right.
They have drama all the time. So when I tell people, I say, hey, look, I usually use Christian verses on Christians, and then I don't use Christian verses on non-Christians, okay? So if you're not a Christian, I'd probably quote some Tim Ferriss for you. And Tim Ferriss talks about how we become the average of the 5 people that we associate with the most.
Right.
Okay? Your network is your net worth, that kind of stuff. But walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Notice the Bible doesn't put a disclaimer and say, except in the case of your family. Have you noticed that the Bible doesn't do that?
Yep. It doesn't.
Dr. Breck, some people, though, will say, Clay, I'm just having a hard time right now with my business. And I said, why? And they said, well, my son isn't getting it done. He's not making the calls. My wife isn't making the calls. My husband is not making the calls. He's not. My wife's not doing the accounting. My husband will not do the accounting. My son will not build the website right. They won't make the call. Somebody that they know, a family or a friend, will not do the job.
Right.
And I will bring up this idea. Well, you should fire them.
Yeah. Or do not hire them in the first place.
And they're going,
Bingo.
are you telling me that my spouse of 20 years who does my accounting should be fired? And I'm like, well, yeah, he's terrible at his job. Just pay him to do nothing, like the King of England or something. Just get him out of here. You know, the King of England has no power. Just runs around being the king.
Yeah.
Well, they're paying him for the land.
There we go. But I'm just saying is you've got to, at some point, have that realization if there's an idiot working for you.
Right.
It doesn't matter how long you've known them, right?
Right.
Dr. Brigg, is it mean to not spend time with certain people?
No.
But why do people think it's mean, Jason? Why? Help me. I don't even get. I've never in my entire life ever. I remember when I was in high school, a girl named Maria was having a huge party, huge party, blasty blast. And I thought Maria was a nice lady, but the other people that were going, I didn't want to be there.
Right.
So I was like the only kid in my class that didn't go. People were like, why aren't you going? I'd rather be down here drawing and reading books. I mean, in high school, I spent a lot of time just drawing, reading books, working on my DJ business. I'd rather do that than go to a party to hang out with people. Like New Year's every year. People like, do you want to go out for New Year's?
No.
I don't ever go out for New Year's. Why? Because I don't care that the rest of the world wants to watch the ball drop. I want to go to bed because I'm a grown man. I want to go to bed at 9 o'clock and wake up at 3 every single day. And I don't care what Ryan Seacrest is doing. I don't care. I'm not into it. Well, the rest of the world, though, is going to watch the ball drop. The rest of the world hates their jobs. 70% of people, according to Gallup, hate their jobs. 85% of people are lying on resumes. Why? Because they're waking up hammered at 3 p.m. on the 1st. I don't do that.
Right.
People think it's crazy, though, that I don't participate in these things. Jason, why do people find it so hard to kick fools out of their lives?
Well, and I actually just giving like a real human testimonial to that. I struggled with that when I first started working for you because it was the first job that I had where I had to make sure that I was on 100% of the time. Like previous Jason, employee mindset Jason was like very passive, show up at just enough time to get to my desk and clock in and then go through the motions, hated being there, and then go hang out with friends. but there'd be instances that would come up, like friends would want to go to some bar or they'd want to go do something. And even though I knew in my core I didn't want to do that because I hate the bar scene, I hate random people, I hate certain people, I wanted to be a good friend. And so I'd go out and do it, and then I would hate it the whole time. And then I realized after I got home, I got no enjoyment out of that. Nothing productive got done. But once I started cutting that stuff out of my life, I was able to do better at my job and learn 10 times more.
It's amazing. Like yesterday, as an example, my son was DJing, and my job is to his dad to get him there, and I let him DJ, and he kind of wants to do his own thing, right?
Right.
But as a dad, I need to be there. So I have an option. A, I can go outside and watch this block party happen and probably run into random people that I don't want to talk to.
Right.
Or I can sit in my Hummer with the air conditioning on and work on a book. So I sat in the Hummer and worked on a book.
You obviously chose door number 2.
Not because I don't like all people, just because I don't like...
And not because you don't love your son.
Right. It's my son's DJing. He wants to do his own thing. That's cool. And I just have to get a book done, and I have no desire to meet random people and to talk about the weather and how humid it is.
Right.
I just don't want to do that. So, again, I'm asking you today, if you want to become successful, what's an area of your life right now where you are passionately wrong and you know you're wrong? And we're going to help you work through it, okay? So this is the next passionate area that I see people being wrong about, is how Google works. I think people feel like Google is like a woo-woo thing that is impossible to solve. So, Jason, we have a checklist here. Yep. And I'm going to have you read off the items on the checklist.
Well, speaking as a non-technical minded person, I am not very tech savvy. I think part of it is that you make it seem so simple how Google actually works. I mean, the 4 aspects of how it works, it just all of a sudden takes all the mystery out of it. It seems just it can't be that easy.
Well,
it can't be that simple.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you the 4 big things, the 4 big variables that impact Google's rank. And then I'm going to have Jason go deep into this thing called canonical compliance. Okay, so there's 4 variables that impact your rank in Google. Okay, the first is whoever has the most objective reviews on your Google map. 2, it's whoever has the most organic, original HTML text, the most organic word, the most original words, the most words that are original and relating to your topic, the most words and the most reviews. Got it? Now, variable number 3 is the most mobile compliance, meaning does it work well on a mobile phone? And the 4th is the most canonical compliance, or the most Google compliance. So again, just repeating if you're taking notes, it's whoever has the most organic, the most objective reviews, the most objective real reviews from real customers. That's 1. 2 is it's the most relevant content, the text, the most words on the site. All right. The 3rd is the most canonical compliance. And the 4th is the most mobile compliance. And you might say, well, how do I know if it's mobile compliance? Just type in to Google right now. I'd tell you what, just email me to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Email info@thrivetimeshow.com. I'll have my team run a 37-point analysis on your website, and I will tell you what is wrong with your website and what's right with it, and we'll help you learn what to do. But now we're going to go deep dive into the checklist of the variables that make a website canonically compliant.
Yes.
So, Jason, let's go with variable number 1 and read the complete definition with a lot of passion, so no one falls asleep while learning about the things that should keep you awake at night, like being top in Google.
Right.
Okay, Jason.
Step number 1, host your website with reliable hosting service. If your website is hosted with an unreliable hosting service, you will rank lower in the search engines. We recommend using GoDaddy.com. Don't host your website with some local janky hosting provider who lives in his mom's basement.
All right, now your website, when someone Google searches your website or they go to your website, if the website is down a lot, it's crashed a lot, it's unreliable a lot, Google will rank it more low in the search engines. They'll rank it lower. Why? Dr. Breck, why do you think Google would rank websites lower in the search engines that don't work consistently?
It's just a bad experience for their customer.
I
I think that's Google wants the best experience for the user, and so if they type in a site and it doesn't pop up, now they're upset, and they may inadvertently blame Google.
Let's just say that
let's
say you had a chair, and you had a house, you had 4 or 5 chairs. And one chair in particular, whenever you'd sit down on it, it would collapse.
Have you been to my house?
Would you rank that as your favorite chair? No. If you had a friend that you had 5 or 6 friends, and every time you called one friend, he said, I'll be there at 5, but he always ghosted. Who would be your favorite friend if you were ranking them? Google is just looking for consistency. Jason, move on to variable number 2.
Variable number 2, host your website with the fastest package that you can afford. Google really cares about how long it takes for your website to load. Why? Because people get impatient and will quickly move on to another website if your website takes too long to load. On January 17th, 2018, Google formally announced the speed update. Google's plan called for them to slowly roll out the new search engine ranking criteria to give web developers plenty of time to make their websites load much faster. To test the speed of your website, go to, and we can include this link on the show notes.
We'll put it on the show notes.
Yep.
So just do a Google search for Google page speed test, and you'll find it. Okay, and we'll put it on the show notes. But the point is, Dr. Breck, why would Google want a website to load more quickly?
Because we are not patient people.
Oh!
And I'm just as guilty as anybody. But people are not patient. We are microwave society. Everything is instant. I want it now. I want it yesterday.
I went to a local restaurant the other day through the drive-thru with my son. And I go through there, I was like, I'm calm. I'm chill. I'm feeling romantic. I'm excited about this burger because this burger's what I want. And then the person comes through the speaker. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get a little junior hamburger for him and a junior hamburger for me. And they said, and I go, yeah, I'd like a junior hamburger. And they said, and then I'm thinking to myself, I got to get out of here. And I left.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you got impatient.
Right.
The hamburger wasn't worth the hassle anymore.
I'm just the person, I was like the third or fourth pass there.
Right.
Just stop it. What are you using, a megaphone back there? All right, so we're moving on to variable number 3. Jason.
Number 3, build your website on the WordPress platform.
Come on. Build your website on the WordPress platform. Just the other day, I had a beautiful young man, just a great American, just probably somebody's son, probably a child of God, probably somebody who just matters, who was so freaking wrong it made me crazy. Because I want to launch the website for him to get him top in Google, and he's like, yeah, but I built it on Wix and I want it to work this way. You reading a headline and the first chapter of a book does not replace actually knowing what works. Listen, Search Engine for Dummies by Bruce Clay. It is endorsed by Google. Check it out. Search Engine for Dummies. All right? It's bruceclay.com. bruceclay.com. Or SEO Inc. That would be Gary Grant. These are companies that I've hired. They charge between $8,000 to $10,000 a month to optimize website. They work with brands like Sandals. They work with brands like OxyFresh. They work with brands like, let's think of like, let me pull up the list real quick. This right here, I want to just give a big list of the brands they work with. That way everybody here can just know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to bruceclay.com, giving you specific examples that your minds can handle. Okay, I'm pulling up so Dr. Brett can see as my accountability partner. Here we go. This is Bruce Clay. The Weather Channel. Yes. Have you heard of the Weather Channel?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Academy Sports.
I'm seeing some very recognizable logos here.
Toyota.
Yep.
eBay.
Yes.
Target. Home Depot. Netflix.
I've heard of them.
LL Bean. I just feel like these are companies we may have heard of in the past. These are
heavy hitters. These are serious players.
Okay, let me pull up Gary Grant. This is SEO Inc. Okay, these are real companies that really get companies to the top of Google. SC Johnson,
a family company.
We talked about.
We
talked about Sandals.
Right.
Let me talk about. Let's pull up another one here. 20th Century Fox.
I've heard. Yep, definitely heard of them. Seen a couple.
Fredericks
of
of Hollywood. I have no idea what that is.
Nope.
Don't know what that is. Wedding Wire. No Fear. All I'm saying is these are real companies, real brands, and I've paid these companies to work with me. I've read all the books. Read How Google Works by Eric Schmidt. Read that book. Read SEO Inc. Or read Search Engine for Dummies by Bruce Clay. Read that book. Read The Honest Seduction. Read that book. Read The Art of SEO. Read that book. And then implement it diligently. Since 99, 2000.
Better yet, I would say don't read those books and just actually do it. Right. I mean, do what you say.
Just do it.
You've already read those books.
And the thing is
that this, I didn't feel the need to read the books because I trusted that you've read those books, and I know you have.
Which is why
I am so glad that my website is no longer in obscurity.
How much, as a percentage, Dr. Breck, drBreck.com, by the way, drbreck.com, a chiropractor, how much larger how much has your company grown as a percentage in the past 18 months?
200%. We've doubled.
If you're out there today, I just feel like...
And I had no web presence. I was literally lost in complete obscurity online. I just didn't have an online presence.
I feel like there's somebody out there that says, yeah, I know, but stop having that thought. But that's fine. I understand. There's just certain people. But this particular young man, I want to finish this tangent. This guy, he's like, I built this on Wix and Google's different. I'm like, have you read... This is the same young man who was explaining to me, because he attended the meeting because his boss couldn't be there. Mm-hmm. He explained to me that he takes hallucinogenic drugs on the weekends.
Okay.
This is the same man who is explaining to me that the most recent girl he met on Tinder, anyway, going on. This is the same. I mean, get out of here. If your number one way to meet people is Tinder, you're a jackass. And you got to quit coming to meetings. And I tried to tell your boss what a jackass you are, which makes me not liked, but right. All right? And I want to help people
get actually winning in life.
If you want to get to the top of Google, implement this stuff and quit telling me about your hallucinogenic drugs and meeting people on Tinder.
Don't drink tiger's blood. You're not winning.
Just implement the moves. Jason, let's go to variable number 3. Variable number 3.
So 3 is host your site on WordPress. Why? Because it is the best software out of the box. If you hire coders to custom build your website on PHP or .NET, you will end up hating your life as a result of having a website that nobody can update other than the entitled, nefarious employees who now have the ability to hold you hostage. Trust us here. We have personally coached hundreds of clients, and every time our coaching clients have a custom-built website,
every time
the business owner at some point has been held hostage by the employee who's the only person who knows how to update the custom-built, non-search engine-friendly, and ridiculously complicated website. Building your website on WordPress puts the power back in your hands as a business owner because you can update the website yourself if you have to.
Yep. Dr. Breck, have you ever worked with a web guy who would not return your calls, who's holding you hostage, and he can't seem to find the passwords?
Yes.
Has this happened to you?
This has happened. Well, and even worse, with a friend.
There it is.
So a friend is very nicely going to help me out, and yet it never happens, and I can't get a hold of him when I need to. He was that one of 6 that ghosted.
Right. I think if you're out there and you are saying, gosh, I can relate to this. Stop doing the wrong thing over and over. Get out of the addictive loop of losing. Stop having your daughter or son who has a degree from OSU or ORU or OU or someplace where they don't teach how search engines work. Quit having them build your website. Stop it. Go to SEOinc.com right now. Go to SEOinc.com right now. Go to SEOinc.com right now. Go to BruceClay.com and look at the fruits of their efforts and stop going the wrong way. Jason, I don't know what to do, because I feel like a lot of people we want to know what to do, but then when we actually get told what to do, we don't want to do it. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. I feel like you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Because I think it's easier to have a friend do your website and put up with their jackassery, and then to say the economy's tight. Dr. Breck, how many times have you seen a chiropractor at an ongoing education event who has explained to you that the reason why their business is failing is because of the economy?
Honestly, every single relicensing and continuing education seminar that I've been to has had those people. Every single one.
You know the only coach in the NFL who's not a member of the Coaches Association?
Let me take a guess.
Bill Belichick. And you know why? Because he's not messing around with jackassery.
He's winning.
He's right and everyone else is wrong, and he knows it.
Yep.
I know it might seem tough to listen to a podcast taught by a man who says that most people are wrong about most things most of the time. But I am telling you, that is the reality. 85% of people are at least wrong about their resume, right? I mean, as they're lying on the resume, according to Inc. magazine. At least 75% of people are wrong about their views on thievery, because
Right.
they're stealing from the workplace.
True.
And at least 7 out of 10 men are wrong, according to the Washington Post, because they're cheating on their spouse. By the way, if he tells you he just fell down and it went in, that's not a move. But I'm just telling you, I see this a lot. People, they're not implementing the moves because they have somebody in the back, somebody in the peripheral, somebody who's going, well, I built the website and I heard that's not how it works at all. Get out of here, man. Why do people hate the Patriots? Because they win all the freaking time. Why do people hate the Yankees? Because they win all the freaking time. Why do people... Because it's easier. There's a bigger crowd gathered around called mediocrity. That's a great crowd.
It is.
The crowd of mediocrity, they have no plans for what they're going to eat today. Let's do this. If you're listening today and you want to lose a bunch of weight, I'm going to give you a challenge. If you want to lose a bunch of weight, I want to give you a challenge. Refuse to eat anything except for organic chicken and organic vegetables and water for the next 7 days and see how many people it pisses off.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yep.
Watch. Seriously, this will piss people off. If you
yeah.
They say, do you want any cake? No, I'm just going to have some organic chicken and I'm going to have some vegetables. But thank you so much, Mrs. Smith. Thank you so much. Honey, I don't, how come you not have any of the cake? We all want to be fat together. Come on, have some cake. Mom, it's cool. I just want to have organic chicken and organic vegetables. I brought my own today. But come on, don't you want some ice cream? Come on. No, Uncle Larry, I just want to have my organic. It pisses people off.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Oh, it pisses them
so
off.
true.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about this morning. It doesn't have to do with your diet. It's the fact that you're consistent. And the second that somebody sees somebody's consistent for a week at the short, or even like a few days, like there's something about you that I hate and I can't put my finger on it. It's because you have something that's planned and you follow it and they don't.
If you tell, as an example, my schedule's the same every week, and it really pisses people off. They're like, so you mean you have family time every Sunday at 6? Yeah. But what about going out to dinner this one time with somebody? Nope. So you mean you do your group interview every Wednesday at 6 p.m. when you personally host it and 5 p.m. when someone else does? Yep. You mean you do it every week? Uh-huh. You mean you do a podcast every day? No, actually, I do it 9 times a week. Really?
Snuck in 2 days there.
So you mean that you never go out with other men? Nope. Why? Because my wife's not there. Do you mean that you don't ever go clubbing with dudes? Nope. Why? Because my wife's not there. Do you? It makes people crazy. It really does. People hate consistency. Jason, move on to the next variable of the Google search engine compliance.
Number 4, build a mobile-friendly website. What is a mobile-friendly website? Check your website's mobile compliance at search.google.com/test/mobile-friendly. Let's see here. And that's it.
That's it?
Check your mobile compliance.
Okay. Now, again, you just got to make
That was
sure
all
you
4.
do it. You got to move number 4, the Quattro. Yeah. Jason, move number 5. What's move number 5?
Install HTTPS encryption onto your website.
Real quick, I'd like for you, if you can, for a second.
Yeah.
Pretend that you're Obama. And you're reading this action item number 5 here.
Ooh.
Okay, the 5th variable.
Okay.
Now I'm going to cue up some kind of the Obama kind of music that I think that Obama
I will do my best.
This is how whenever Obama talks, this is what I hear. So here we go. Go for it now.
Install HTTPS encryption onto your website. HTTPS encryption stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. What does that mean? HTTPS encryption makes your website more difficult for bad people to hack, thus making it tougher for very bad people to crash your website and to use your website as a way to steal the personal information of your valuable clients and patrons. Google ranks websites higher who have invested the additional money needed to add HTTPS encryption to their website. How many times would you use Google if every time their search results sent you to a website that had been hacked into by cyber criminals and internet hackers?
And repeat that last line over and over like Obama. Repeat. Come on, I got 20 more seconds.
How many times would you use Google if every time their search results sent you to a website that had been hacked into by cyber criminals and internet hackers?
One more time, bring it.
How many times would you use Google if every time their search results sent you to a website that had been hacked into by cyber criminals and internet hackers?
Woo! Obama! Hope and
was excellent.
change.
That was excellent.
That's pretty good.
Very good.
It's all in the pauses.
It is.
So it's the HTTPS encryption.
Yep.
You got to add that. But Dr. Breck, I don't want to. That's what you hear.
Continue to not win.
I hear people say, I don't want to spend the $80 though. I don't care if you want to. Sometimes I question my sanity as to why I want to help people.
Yeah. The more you talk about it this morning, the more I'm wondering why you want to continue to help people.
My wife asks me all the time, why do you do this to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see the success of Cola, it's worth it.
Yep.
I see the success
Yeah.
of Tip Top Canine, it's worth it. I see full package media, it's worth it. I noticed that Jesus got killed at the age of 33 for being right, so I'm like, I kind of dodged the bullet.
I was about to say, you made it past.
But I don't know how old Martin Luther King Jr. was when he got killed. But that
He wasn't very old.
Well, how old was he when he got killed? We would think how old was MLK when he died? Let's pull that up. Let's find the stat. 39. Frick, I'm right there.
Yeah.
Let's stop today's show.
The doors are locked, right?
I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, I've had so many people over the years come to me for advice. One lady about 3 years ago. This was a real fabulous situation.
Mm-hmm.
She worked with us at the time, doesn't now, and she says, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving in with a guy who's got 4 kids."
Yeah.
And she's like at the time like 22, and this guy's like 40.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, what parenting advice would you have for me? I want to know. You and Vanessa have 5 kids. I just wanted to know what advice you have. And I said,
She didn't really want to know.
"You're gonna ruin your life.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin that thing. I mean, you got to get out of there. What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Well, we're really close." And I'm like, No. I don't know what's going on right now, but you're already sleeping with him, aren't you? She goes, "What? You're already sleeping with him, right?" Yeah. I said, "Well, if you let people test drive first, that also decreases your chances of success. You have to run. You got to get out. You got to run." And it didn't go over well.
Right.
Sometimes when you give them the truth, they don't like it.
It's very true.
So
Oftentimes.
most times.
Yeah. Almost all the time.
There was a pastor I worked with years ago who was, in the Bible. And again, if you're listening out there and you happen to be gay, not gay, part not gay, you're just, I don't know. Sometimes I just wake up and I don't even know. The Bible has a certain stance on it, right?
Right.
So if you're a Christian and you use the Bible as your rule book, then you should be consistent with that. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be. But I talked to a pastor years ago, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He was all troubled. And he said, "Well, the Bible says this, and I want to say that, but I can't because it might offend this person." I'm like, "Well, then you shouldn't be a pastor."
Right.
He's like, "Well, but people would get offended." I'm like, "Then you shouldn't be a pastor."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm like, "Maybe you should be like a truth sayer, a hope giver, a community organizer, a whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go to church and then like adjust the Bible to play to the crowds." Because
Right.
people want a Santa Claus. People want Santa Claus.
They do.
When you tell someone they have to have HTTPS encryption on their site, it upsets people. Why? I don't understand. Jason, could you read the next variable, please?
Install the Yoast.com search engine optimization plugin into your website. What is Yoast? Yoast SEO is the best WordPress plugin on the planet when it comes to search engine optimization. Yoast was built and designed in a way to make search engine optimization approachable for the everyman, and thus we love Yoast. Yoast makes it possible for people who are not complete nerds to proactively manage the search engine optimization of their websites.
Wait a second. So you're saying install the Yoast search engine
Plugin.
optimization plugin into my website.
Yep.
Why?
Well, how are you going to get articles on there?
So you're saying that this is the most search engine compliant plugin on the planet.
True.
Thus, we use it.
That's
But what
exactly
if I want to
I'm saying.
use a different plugin, a different feature on my site to optimize it? What if I don't like Yoast?
One, I don't even think you know Yoast like that, so you can't judge them.
This just in.
Two, if you don't want to use Yoast, then you don't want to win. It's as simple as that.
But I think people want to fight about this.
That's
Yeah.
true. Well, people just inherently want to do something that's different.
And wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why. It's just like, Bobby, don't eat that ice cream. Got it, Mom. And as soon as you're told not to do it,
Right.
Yep.
all you want in your little third grade boy mind is that ice cream.
Yeah. Don't look down. Everybody looks down. Yeah.
Cleavage. It's a weird thing. It's
That's
a thing.
true.
It's around us. It's it's around us, and you notice its presence, and you say, don't look. It's a thing. It's just it's a bad deal. Anyway, so I'm just saying there are certain things you shouldn't look at, but you kind of want to. You shouldn't eat, but you kind of want to. You know you got to put on Yoast, but you're kind of like, yeah, but I want to do something else.
Right.
All right, so we're moving on to variable number 7, Jason. What's that?
7, uniquely optimize every meta title tag on every page of your website.
Real quick, are you saying that they have to write different words for every single meta title on every page of their website?
That's what I'm saying.
Why do people hate that part so much?
Because they don't want to do something different. Like, why can't I just use the same name? It's
Why
the
can't I
same
just copy
website.
and
It's the
paste?
same brand. Right. It's
Okay.
too hard. I don't like to write. It's too many
Continue.
words.
I'm gonna find you some epic music. And read it nice and slow, because our listeners can't see. We need to just soak in the fruits. Okay, so here we go. We're just kind of. I got the music right. Here we go.
Got it. Uniquely optimize every meta title tag on every page of your website. The title tag is simply a hypertext markup language, HTML, element on a website that specifies to search engines what a particular web page is all about. At SEO Moz, we say that the best practice for title tag length is to keep titles under 70 characters. An example would be full package media, vertical bar, Dallas real estate photography, vertical bar, 972-885-8823.
Why, Jason, do people not want to make every single title tag unique?
They either feel like they're not original enough and they can't come up with a new idea. It's too hard to sit down and think of a new idea, or it is too time consuming.
I told you today about the new book I'm working on. And I said the worst part about writing a book proposal is what, Jason?
Writing the freaking book proposal.
Yep. Oh, it's terrible. All right, we move on to the Ocho. Variable number 8. It'll make your website great.
Uniquely optimize every meta description on every page of your website. The meta description is simply part of the hypertext markup language, again, HTML, code that provides a brief summary about a web page. Search engines like Google usually show the meta description in search engine results.
There we go.
Don't make your meta description more than 160 characters in length.
Why do you have to follow all these rules?
Because if you don't, Google's not going to rank you and nobody's going to find you because everybody uses Google.
Don't make your meta description more than 160 characters in length. So an ample example, just Google today, Dallas real estate photography, and you can see full package media. Now we go back to the title. You can't make your title more than 70 characters. Clay, who made these rules? Google.
Google. It's their
Google.
world.
It's their
We're
world.
living in it.
Right, but you're like, well, I don't want to use it though. I heard from a friend of mine. Listen, it turns out it pays really well to be an internet charlatan. Running around giving people
It does.
half.
That's my new job.
When you give people thoughts, when you give people life tips that don't work, but it seems plausible, people love it. They do. They do. Let me just cue up this audio real quick and tell me what Dr. Breck. You tell me when you're going to call BS first, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to cue it up. Let me get it going here real quick here. So here we go.
You know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves
go.
that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought.
The 7.
It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe you've seen my TEDx talk where I talk about how I read a book a day. You know, I read a book a day not to show
My
off,
meter's
it's
going
about
up
the
higher and
knowledge.
higher.
In fact,
We're getting there.
the real reason I
A
keep
book a day.
A book a day?
Do you believe that Ty
No.
Lopez reads a book every single day?
No, I do not.
But it seems true, doesn't it? You kind of want it to seem true.
Right.
You kind of want it to be real.
Well, I know I'm not reading a book a day, so he's succeeding, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's what makes it plausible is he's got to be doing something I'm not, and that's the difference.
If you want to see this video, just type in Ty Lopez Lamborghini, and I know you do.
this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little town across the country sleeping on a couch in a mobile home with only $47 in my bank account. I didn't have a college degree. I had no opportunities. But you know what? Something happened that changed my life. I bumped into a mentor and another mentor, a few more mentors.
We want this to be true. We do, because we don't want to think about 70 characters on our title tag.
Right.
That would require work. Another Ty Lopez video. Let's watch this one. Here we go.
Jet like this?
Here, wait. Here we
You
go.
know what I like more than flying in a private jet like this? My books.
Okay, real quick. Now, I want to make sure that we're breaking down this audio here. Here we go. This is Ty Lopez. Dr. Brett, can you describe what you're seeing here on the screen?
All right, so what I'm seeing on the screen is looks to be a private jet.
Yep.
And there are some beautiful women that are accompanying Ty Lopez. It looks like he has an associate back behind the ladies, but very much featuring the beautiful women in the video.
How often
versus the books that he.
How often would you be on a private? How often would anybody be on a private jet with 3 women who are showcasing cleavage while reading books? How often? Oh, let's.
Well, like you, I'm a married man, so I'm never going to be on that plane.
I'm gonna hit play here. I'm gonna play this for you.
You know what I like more than flying in a private jet like this? My books.
His books.
His books.
Actually not, but.
Yeah, actually not. I just lied to you, but I told you I lied.
A little bit earlier.
Wait. Here he goes.
I do bring books with me because we were just talking a little bit earlier on. The question was how to figure out what you should do with your life, like your destiny, what you're meant to do, what your purpose is. And I find that's the most common question, and I was just thinking about it when I was...
Get out of here. There's no freaking way that is what they were talking about.
No.
I find that's the most common question. There's never been a single client that's been like, Clay, what's my destiny? No, it's they focus on building their business. They don't...
All right, so we're moving on to variable number 9, but read it nice and slow because we got to let this soak into our cranium.
Yes, it's a long one, so strap in.
Okay.
Uniquely optimize the keywords on every page of your website.
Got it.
Meta keywords are a very specific kind of meta tag that will show up in the hypertext markup language, HTML, code on web pages, and these will tell the search engines what the web page is really all about. An example of specific keyword optimization would be Burj Najarian. You may be thinking, who is Burj Najarian?
Burj Najarian. It's B-E-R-J Najarian. N-A-J-A-R-I-A-N. He is the he serves as the New England Patriots director of football and the chief of staff for the legendary coach Bill Belichick, who's won a total of 8 Super Bowl titles since beginning his coaching career in the National Football League. So if you're out there today and you're searching for Burj Najarian, there's a high probability that you know who Burj Najarian is. Therefore, I wanted to come up top for him because he's the man who tells me I cannot interview Bill Belichick. He's the guy.
Yep.
And the reason why Bill Belichick is successful is because he won't do interviews with people like me. So I am standing in the way. If I were to interview Bill Belichick, they probably would not win the Super Bowl, and they'd be like, things were going well, but then we did that interview with that Clay guy, and we got distracted. And I'm being serious, though. Bill Belichick does not do interviews that he doesn't have to do.
Right.
That's how he wins, okay?
Probably a big deal for like the very top end, daily show to get an interview with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I'm not going to get an interview anytime soon. But I'll tell you this, though. Burj, I'm coming for you, buddy. I'm going to keep asking. Because the more I ask, first you're going to kind of hate me, and you'll dislike me, you'll kind of get annoyed, but then it starts to become kind of endearing. And after about 6 or 7 years of follow-up, then you're starting to kind of go, I like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like this crazy, stupid guy from Tulsa. And then it's going to happen. Now, Elon Musk has a notable quotable. This just in from our home office. Elon Musk says, some people don't like change, but you need to change. He says, some people don't like to change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. So if your website's not ranking top in Google, it might be costing you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. Just go to thrivetimeshow.com today and watch some of the testimonials. It's truly unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It is something that's hard to believe.
Right.
How much success. Let me just cue up an audio clip real quick from somebody who is a member of the Thrive Nation. This is a home builder, Aaron Antis. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen.
So Aaron is a guy who's building homes. He said a friend of his is doing really well financially, and he said, what are you doing? The friend Steve Currington said, I work with Clay. And we'll continue.
A lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay.
He says they're up 12 times more leads in 4 months. 12 times more leads. Another example. This is the Jen Allen with Body Central. They've gone from 3 locations to 8 locations in the last 2 years just by diligently implementing the systems and processes.
That's great.
Perhaps you're somebody who needs more emotion to your testimonial. You need something a little more emotional. This is Barbie Cookies. This is a single mom growing a company that's now absolutely doing well, thriving. Listen to this one. This year's sales for this week.
So this is the same week last year. Do you see the difference? Look.
Wait a second, I can't really tell. One is,
Look.
Michael, can we just I just want to get it. Jason, can you kind of pull this end maybe, just so you can see it? Let's kind of pull it that way. Let's get the length. That's more of a, I can't tell the length. It's hard to tell.
Look at that. Okay.
So that was last year's sales.
This is last year's sales. And the total is a mere $4,711.73. Same week this year, 2015. The total is, read it, Michael.
11,313.50.
Oh, boom! And that was 2015. I've been doing this for a long time, which is why I look so old. Jason, continue. What's the next variable?
All right, the next variable is going to make a lot of people mad, so I apologize in advance. But you have to create 1,000 words of original and relevant text or content per page on your website.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
What a jerk. What am I possibly going to talk about how could I possibly put 1,000 words on my contact page? How could I possibly put 1,000 words on my About Us page? And when am I going to have the time to write 1,000 words? Do you know how busy I am? I'm so busy. So busy.
You know what you can do? If you got an iPhone, you can download the Dragon dictation app, and you can just talk for 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, I'm at a low point in my life. I'll listen. What are the 3 ways? Give me a couple ways that I can write 1,000 words of content per page.
So you could sit down and type it up yourself.
Okay.
Or you could get any form of dictation app, which just allows you to talk directly into your phone's microphone, an extended microphone, a headset, and it will record and type out everything that you're saying. That way, you don't have to sit. You can just kind of do stream of consciousness speaking. Or you can record a podcast, talk at length about things that you know, and then transcribe it using the Timmy software.
Okay, so 1 is you could write the content yourself, or 2, you could record the audio and transcribe it using the Timmy software. Now, if you do that, today when you Google search Tulsa, if you Google search Broken Arrow Automotive Repair, Dr. Breck, I'm going to Google it real quick. You can tell me who comes up. Do you live in Broken Arrow or are you Tulsa?
I'm Tulsa.
You're Tulsa, okay.
Yeah.
But if you lived in Broken Arrow, and I know you don't, but if
I'm a big fan.
Broken Arrow Auto Repair. Who comes up top in Google right now? What do you see right there? Let's see.
I saw where am I looking?
Let's see here.
Yeah, the garage.
The garage
auto shop.
Oh, there we go. And then organically you got Yelp, and then there you go. You see them again, the Garage BA. The GarageBA.com comes up top in Google.
Yes.
Is it, Jason, because we like Roy so much? We do like him so much, but is that why he comes up top?
No, it's because Google likes him so much, and Google likes him because he plays by their rules. He's got a crap load of content, and he has more reviews than his competition.
You know, his sales went from $60,000 from $60,667 during 1 month last year to now $102,000 this year. Let me play the audio. This is Roy sharing how doing these things has impacted his business.
What's up, Thrive Nation? Aaron Chubb here with Roy. We have a little bit of news for you guys. It's now May 31st at 6:21. You've been closed for 20 minutes.
Right.
No, it's now June. So let's run the numbers for May. Let's see what he's got.
Totals 102,837.
What's last year to date? 102,837 this year.
And last year was 60,667. Whoa! Coming out of the weeds now.
They're up like
boom, out of the weeds.
That's up like what, 70%? I mean, that's a big number there. I mean, that's not quite double, but
almost
close.
double.
I mean, that's Jason, keep on reading.
Alrighty, so the next step, create a Google search engine compliant .xml sitemap on your website.
Now, somebody out there is saying, well, I'm not technical. Well, get technical or hire someone who is technical. Come on, man. I just see a lot of dads who are like, well, I'm just not, I'm going through another divorce, and I'm just not a faithful person. I'm just not a faithful person because the way I was raised. I'm serious. I've met real people who've told me, they say, Clay, I'm going through another divorce, and I just want to know, what tips do you have? And I'm going, how did that happen again? They go, well, I'm just not a faithful guy. Like, you're not a faithful guy? What do you mean? well, my father wasn't faithful to my mom, and I'm not faithful. And I come from a long line of unfaithful men. I just want to know, what are your tips? There's no tips. Stop putting your penis inside people you're not married to. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it now. But it's hard for me to not put my penis in people I'm not married to. I come from a long line of perpetual penis putters in the wrong place. Stop it. Just stop doing that. Unbelievable. You can't have your life controlled by your unit. Come on, quit being the unit bomber. Just stay focused, man. Seriously, it's unbelievable. I see men who are acting like they're a 16-year-old in heat or something. Stop acting like a monkey man. Get serious about your life. Jason, continue.
All right, so what is an XML sitemap?
Yep.
XML stands for Extensible Markup Language.
Whoa.
A quality XML sitemap serves as a map of your website, which allows the Google search engine to find all of the important pages located within your website.
But I don't want to build an XML sitemap.
Well, you have to. Okay. Otherwise, Google can't navigate.
Okay. Just want to get that in there.
As a website owner, unless you hate money, you really want Google to be able to crawl, find, and rank all of the important pages on your website. Yoast.com has tools that will actually generate Google-compliant .xml sitemaps for you. Don't worry, you can do this.
But somebody out there doesn't want to do it because it's hard. And I'm just telling you, I took algebra 3 times, okay? Took my ACT 3 times to get into college. Things could be hard, but you still have to do whatever you have to do.
Right.
You got to do it. Jason, move on to variable number 12.
Variable number 12, create a Google search engine compliant HTML sitemap. So much like an XML sitemap, a hypertext markup language sitemap allows the people who visit your website to easily navigate your website. So the difference is HTML, users can view it. XML, that's all indexed by Google.
There it is.
Sitemap should be located at the bottom of your website and should be labeled as a, in quotations, sitemap. Hiding your sitemap for any reason is a bad idea because Google assumes that if you are hiding your sitemap, you're probably trying to hide something. Don't change the background of your website to be the same color as your sitemap's font or do any trickery here. You want to make sure that your website can easily be found at the bottom of the website.
Jason, what is the next variable that it makes our website canonically or Google compliant?
So 13, if you ever want to sell something to humans on the planet Earth, you must make your contact information easy to find.
Why?
Well, because if you are sales-based and you have a phone number, people kind of have to know what that phone number is.
Thus, you want to make your phone number easily available to find either at the top right or at the bottom of the website. When coaching your web developer, force them to make your phone number a click-to-call phone number so that users on your website who are using a mobile phone on the planet Earth can simply click the number to call. Dr. Breck, have you noticed that people want to typically call you to schedule their first exam?
And it's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. I love how it works.
I've worked with so many web developers who are clever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, well, what I'm doing is, the internet's really changing, so I've kind of hidden the number. It's the new thing people are doing. I'm going, get out of here, man.
That's the new thing?
I have heard web developers.
I'm going to stick with the thing that's working.
I've heard web developers tell me, well, the reason why I didn't put the phone number easily findable is because some artistic reason. Just get out of here.
Make them dig a little deeper into the website so they can find it.
If you are out there today and you're going, listen, man, you guys are overwhelming me today. That's kind of what I want to do.
Right.
Because I want you to know it requires detailed thought. So for sake of time, if you're saying, I don't know if my website is canonically compliant, just email us right now to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and we will run a battery of tests on your website to tell you what's wrong with it. And Dr. Brack, has it helped you grow your company?
It has. It definitely has.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Great. I just encourage you, if you're out there and you're passionately wrong about how Google works, make a change. Now, Jason, let's move on to the next area where humanity is usually perpetually wrong. I think humanity is perpetually wrong about humanity.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Breck.
Yes.
Can you tell me, is it shocking to you that 75% of employees admit to stealing from the workplace?
Yeah, that is shocking.
It is?
Yeah.
Is it shocking to you that 85% of people lie on resumes?
It's sad. It's very, I don't know if it's shocking, but it's very sad.
I would say, and I agree. But Jason, can you explain, why do we do a group interview here every Wednesday at 6 p.m.?
One, it is a huge time saver. Instead, like let's say we have 27 interested applicants, we can knock it out in an hour as opposed to spending half of a work week interviewing each individual person for an hour by themselves.
So let me recap how the group interview works, okay? By default, you get resumes sent to you, and you read them.
Right.
Oh, you read those things. And
You can spend hours and hours and hours
reading those pieces
resumes.
of fictional literature. You're reading that. And then you're like, oh, I found the perfect one. So this guy, this lady right here. I thought she seems great. She had a little headshot with herself, got the degree going on, got the 3.9 GPA. You're going, wow, she's going to be the perfect nurse practitioner, the perfect assistant, the perfect salesperson, the perfect search engine person. We had a guy from MIT. The
MIT.
We had somebody from Carnegie Mellon, I remember that, who was supposed to be the best web developer of all time. And, you know what, I'm going to hit save real quick because this thunder out here is getting pretty epic. I hate to lose an epic show because of some thunder, so give me just 1 second. And we're back. We've survived the monsoon out there. We're back. And now we're talking about this group interview idea. Now, by default, most people are reading people's resumes and then deciding who to interview one-on-one.
Right.
So you have 40 applicants, you're reading 40 resumes, and then meeting 40 people one-on-one.
Right.
Why, Jason, is that an epic waste of time? Epic.
It's an epic
huge.
waste. It's a huge waste of time because, again, your time is valuable. That's time you can spend doing something else, working on your business, optimizing your website.
Let's start with that first idea.
Yeah.
Do you truly believe that your time is valuable? That's the question I'd ask you right now, Thrive Nation. I mean, I believe time is our most important asset. And that's the filter I run everything through. So yesterday, a member of my family accidentally locked their keys in their car. So you know what I did? I called Papa Lock.
Yep.
And you know why? Because I'd rather pay $75 for them to come do it while I'm editing a book than to spend an hour of my time.
Yep.
Because I'm not good at it. I'll probably break the window in the process. And I value my time more than my money.
Right.
So you have to, as an entrepreneur, value your time. So reading resumes is just, you got to stop. Then you interview them all at one time. Jason, why?
Well, it's a really easy way to find who the unicorns or outliers are, because typically people in a group setting, only the people who are alphas and A players are going to come to the front of the line.
That's true.
And you're able to hit and assess everybody. You're able to look at them and see if they're actively engaged. One of the really cool things that you do is you'll ask a question as you're going through, and then you just ask a random person. Like, you won't even be looking at them. Just ask, does that make sense? Or do you have any questions? And then the people who have questions, are engaged, and the people who don't have no reason to be there.
I will walk everybody through the actual words I say during our group interview real fast. So first off, the interview starts at 6 p.m. So anybody who's late, I don't ask them to leave. I just mentally pretend they left.
Right.
So I don't invest my time there. Because if you're late to a job interview, if you're not early, that's the problem.
If you're not first, you're last.
So last week we had, I think, I don't want to make up a number, but around 20 people confirmed to be at the interview. And I think we had, it's normal, 6 or 7 people that actually showed up on time.
Right.
And of those 6 or 7, 2 or 3 were not argumentative and were nice people who had their crap together. Then I said, okay, well, guys, welcome to the interview. My name's Clay Clark. I am the owner of this particular business, and I view that people are our most important asset, and so I like to make sure that I decide which people join our team. I want a team with the best players wins, and I want to make sure I'm looking for the best players. So, but I don't like to ask you insincere questions. I don't like to say, what's your biggest weakness? Because then you're going to say, well, my biggest weakness is just caring too much.
I work too hard.
Too hard. And I'm going to go, okay, well then tell me about a work situation where you had to work through adversity. And they're like, oh, well, my last job, we were at a critical deadline. It was mission critical. And what I did is I just, because of my integrity and my commitment to the team, to the initiative, I pushed through and I was able to achieve maximum success in a win-win way with a team. And I'm going to go, oh, that's great. Tell me about your last job. Why are you leaving? I'm leaving because my last job that I loved and my boss that I loved, just at this point, I've decided to take my career in a different direction. I want to go in a different direction. And it's just as insincere. Yes. But when I say, ask me any questions you want, all of a sudden people ask me real questions. And I can figure out whether they're a good fit or not based upon how their mind works. It's amazing. And then if I find one or two people that we like and we do every week, we have them shadow.
Right.
Why do we have them shadow for a couple hours, Jason? Why do we have them come shadow the next day or as soon as they can?
One, just so they can get a good understanding of, because you talk a lot about, you bring them into like what the culture of the office is, how like the day-to-day job works, but then they get a chance to see it. So they get to see everything from sales to graphic design to SEO.
And they get to meet all the teammates.
Right. It makes it all more tangible, more real. But then also at the same time, you can vet that person, see if they're paying attention. Like we've had plenty of shadows that have come through Elephant in the Room.
Yeah.
And their whole job is just to watch me work. I'll explain some things to them, of course, and then I want them to ask me questions. But the people who don't ask me questions or the people I turn around and they're just texting, like, okay, I realize now you may have done really well in the interview, but you're not going to cut it.
And I realize there's somebody out there who's a Christian. I get it. And you're saying, as a Christian, I don't want to speak negativity over my life. That's fine. I'm just telling you the facts. Washington Post is saying 78% of the men have cheated on their partner. That means 78% of the people applying for jobs for you who are men are cheaters. 75% of people steal from the workplace. That means 75% of the job candidates you're talking to steal. It's just what it is.
Right.
It's not negative. It's just reality.
Those thieving unit bombers.
It's reality. And I just think when you struggle to deal with how reality works, life is tough.
Yes.
But when you just embrace how reality works, it's awesome. The group interview shall set you free. Now, the next area where I get a lot of pushback on, people struggle with, is getting Google reviews. Dr. Breck.
Yes.
Why don't consumers, patients, clients, whatever, by default give you a positive Google review or give you a Google review at all unless you ask?
I think people are probably very well intentioned, but they just have busy lives. And if they're not passionate about it, then they're not going to leave you a review. And the people that naturally are passionate about your business are those who are upset. And so if they're going to naturally leave a review, it's going to naturally be very negative.
So Dale Carnegie, who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, he wrote, when dealing with people, remember you're not dealing with creatures of logic, but with creatures bristling with prejudice and motivated by pride and vanity. Talk to someone about themselves, and they'll listen for hours.
Right.
It's so important. You understand that you have to appeal to people's motive, and you say, hey, you know, at Dr. Breck, drbreck.com, we pride ourselves on doing the best service possible.
Right.
And it would mean the world to me if you would leave us an objective review today to tell Tulsa how we're doing.
Right.
But you got to ask.
But you got to ask.
If you don't ask, what happens?
Nothing.
Jason, I hear people say, why do I always have to ask? I already have 100 reviews. Why can't I stop?
Well, two things. You can't stop because the first thing that your competitor notices, because people track this. I mean, I help my clients track it every week. I have a couple people that on their weekly tallies, they want to know where their direct competitor is at. Because if we've grown and we're double theirs, they want to make sure that they keep an eye on the competitor, because all it takes for somebody to outrank you is to have more reviews. So you want to make sure that you're always staying ahead of the competition. But two, if Google realizes that a business stops getting reviews or stops uploading content, it looks at that website as inactive. So much like a bad website, it stops ranking it. So if you're not consistent, Google will then kick you off the front page, and your competitors, again, who are going to be outranking you if you stop getting Google reviews, will get all of your leads.
You know, Papa Gallo's just hit 1,005 reviews last night.
Beautiful.
That's great.
There they are, top in Google. It's just so critically important that you go out there and you ask people for reviews. You have to do it. And I just think there's somebody out there saying, well, can I email people and ask them? No, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work when you email people, Jason, and ask them for reviews?
I'll tell you, the only emails that I check come through my important file. And the only way that they can do that is if they come from you, John, or one of our vendors. Everything else is spam. I will go through my inbox every day, but if it comes from anything marketing related, which I was that dummy, I've had the same email address for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
You're setting up an account like, hey, do you want to receive newsletters? Sure. And now I've got thousands that I don't read, and it's no offense to them, I'm just not going to do it. And so, I mean, just to speak to what you were saying, that's people won't read them.
I had a conference that I spoke at years ago, and I did a funny thing. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to do something real quick here. I'd like for you to write down the number of emails approximately in your inbox, approximately. And if the number that you write down is the number that I've written down here, you'll win a $500 prize.
Right.
I'm going to give you $500 of cash if the number that you wrote down is closest to the number that I have written down here, because we're just taking a little survey. But don't put your hand up. Don't tell me. Just write down the number on a piece of paper and bring it up here. So everyone, there's about 200 people there. Everyone's writing down the number. They're writing down. So I said, folks, I'm now going to read off how many emails people have in their inbox. I'm not going to read their name, but I am going to read off how many, just so that we can all kind of have a kumbaya moment. So
get an idea.
Email number 1, inbox number 1, 627 reviews or something, or 627 emails.
Right.
I'm like, okay, inbox number 2 here, 1,000 whatever. Inbox number 3, 400. Inbox number 5, 700. Inbox, and we start realizing the average person has hundreds of unresponded to emails. Thus, when they get an email from you, the last thing they want to do is go, okay, I'll take time out of my schedule and leave a review. Get out of here.
Right.
You can't automate that crap. You've got to ask people. And when dealing with people, remember you're not dealing with creatures of logic.
So true.
But with creatures bristling with prejudice and motivated by pride and vanity. Now, Jason, what happens if you send somebody a text, automate a text after every service and says, how was our service? Why is that not a good idea?
Well, it's not a good idea because when you're one of the main reasons you want to ask face-to-face or over the phone, if it's your last resort, is if you realize that the person was genuinely wowed. Like an elephant in the room, we ask everybody who is leaving, they look like they had a blasty blast, they have a good haircut, a great smile, they enjoyed it.
You can learn from them, but if you automate that, what's going to happen is people will not leave a review unless they're mad.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Next pushback area I deal with. We got a few more we're going to tackle today.
Yeah.
How advertising works. I see a lot of people, not our listeners, but other people who say, well, advertising doesn't work. I never click on those ads.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. Okay. I mean, it's hard to even, when I hear it, it's like, I can't really explain what happens in my mind. When I hear it, I'm kind of going,
La la la, Luke, I am your father.
Holy cow!
I don't know how to process it because I've been in business since I was 16 years old. So when you buy ads like a Yellow Page ad, trust me, you're gonna get leads.
Oh yeah.
And then when you get leads, if you do a good job, then people should want to come back and tell their friends.
Right.
So when you say, well, yeah, most of our business comes from word of mouth. That's how it's supposed to work.
Right.
It's supposed to work that way. You should have most of your business from word of mouth.
You got to initiate them somewhere.
You're right.
They got to get on board somewhere.
But why would I advertise that? Come on. Stop it. Stop saying that. I share this story a lot, and hopefully this works for the listeners out there. I bought a Yellow Page ad years ago for $2,500 a month, approximately. My wife and I turned off our air conditioning and our heat, and we sold a vehicle so that we could have a Yellow Page ad. We ran that ad. Oh, yes, we did. And Bopa called, B-O-P-H-A. Bopa was her name. And she got married at the Royal Dragon. And she got married to a guy named Ryan. And she wanted
I know them.
Do you know Bopa?
They're friends.
Yes.
Yes.
Come on.
I do.
Are
I
you
know
serious?
them. Yeah.
Yes.
I've known them for years.
Yes.
Probably about 8-9 years I've known Bopa and Ryan.
Yes. To quote Carlton Pearson. Yes. Talking about yes.
When you said her name, I was like, surely it's not the same Bopa.
Are you being serious?
There can't be that many Bopas.
Are you
yeah,
being-
I could tell you their last name right now, but I won't on air.
Okay, let me do this. I'm just gonna cue this
I'll
up.
write
This
it
is-
down.
This is impressive. Farther along, folks, we'll understand how that happened. Hit. Oh, here we go.
We will understand why.
Oh, yes. How is that possible?
Live in the sunshine.
Here in the... Here we go.
We'll
Shut up.
Oh, by and by. Sing it again. Farther along. Come on. Farther along.
How is it possible?
See you, fellas. We will.
I don't even understand how that just happened. That right there is a unicorn event. I cannot believe that Dr. Breck knows Ryan and Bopa. That's
Great people.
hot. The point is, I DJ'd their wedding. And at their wedding, other people attended the wedding who were happy.
Yeah.
And somehow, a lady by the name of Erin Reed, who worked at Tulsa National Bank, calls me. She says, hey, I'm looking for a DJ. I heard you're good. Boom, referral. Then from that wedding, Forrest and Christy. Forrest was a Sapulpa firefighter. Christy, I blacked out. I can't remember what you did, but she did something very important. And by the way, that's not just a sexist. That's sad that I can't remember everyone's profession. But the point is, so she used me for her wedding, and then Kip, who's the president of Tulsa National Bank, he was happy and he used us, which led somehow to a referral to the Unit Corp, who officed at 71st and Lewis at the time, and they hired me, which somehow led to the United Steak and Poultry event and to the Ameristar event. All of those came from a referral that initially came from the seed called advertising. Jason, where do you get the most pushback about advertising?
So just like you said, people
not from your clients, but from other people.
No, just from other people. It's a lot of people think that ads don't work, and so my personal challenge is let's say you're not searching for like a keyword, you're searching for a business, right? And you're skipping the map. You just want to find something on Google. You put the name in. What do? You click the first one that pops up on the page. Everybody who does that, run that search again, and before you click, look to the left. You're going to see a green ad box. So you think you're going to the actual website, which you are, but you're clicking the ad. So the ad works. It's right there. Why? The ad puts it at the top of the page for more relevance.
But I don't click ads.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Fine. All right. So now, okay. So then we got the advertising thing. I just want to make sure we're getting this advertising concept. Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, Prince, Michael Jackson, Charlton Heston, President Clinton, best-selling author Michael Levine, who we've had speak at our conferences. The Michael Levine.
True. He's intense.
He says the 500 fastest growing companies in America, the research shows they're dropping 11% of their budget on advertising. 11%.
That's nothing.
The average American business, though, spends like very little, which is why most businesses fail. You've got to advertise. Kumbaya, kumbaya. I hate fighting with you, kumbaya. Don't be broke anymore. Don't be broke. There's so many people that are just passionate about doing the wrong thing, and passionately being wrong doesn't make you right.
No. Nope. It makes you passionately broke.
That's what happens. It's a passion for being wrong. Let me T.D. Jakes, the famous evangelist and best-selling author, he has this to say about why exceptional people struggle to communicate with mediocre people.
So Jesus, who is exceptional, is having a conversation with ordinary. And exceptional and ordinary always have a conflict. Anytime exceptional people dwell in the midst of ordinary thinking people, there's always going to be conflict.
There's always going to be conflict when exceptional people are in the presence of ordinary people. Now, here's what's cool. Everybody here who is ordinary, all of us who are ordinary, we can all choose to be extraordinary simply by putting in that extra effort and diligently implementing proven systems. But if you won't implement the systems, you're going to lose.
You won't get the results.
Right. But nothing's worse than wanting the results and knowing what to do.
And just not doing it.
And why is that so bad?
Well, you're going to stay where you're at. That's what's going to happen.
I think it's like a soul-sucking thing when you know what to do and you don't do it.
It's got to be.
But I think there's an excitement about going, if I go to this seminar and I learn what to do, this will change everything. No, see, it's not school.
Nope.
Yep.
Just learning crap and putting it back on a piece of paper and getting an A. I hate almost everything about school. But I hate that they give you a reward for passing a test,
right?
And for not doing anything,
for not actually doing it. Yeah.
Here you go, students. We're going to grade you based on your ability to regurgitate information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something, and you guys say it back, and then if you say what I say, then I'll give you an A. What? It's like, okay, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Everybody now, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Great, you get an A. Why? Because you're good at memorization. And in the future, you might do well in Jeopardy. Now go out there.
Ooh. That could be lucrative.
But that is not how the world works. In the world of business, it's about implementation, not just education. You've got to learn how to apply what you're learning. To quote Napoleon Hill, action is the real measure of intelligence. Now, Jason, I hear a lot of people pushing back about cold calling and the Dream 100 system.
Oh, yeah.
This is the final area I want to tackle today. Cold calling and the Dream 100 system. Jason, explain what cold calling is and what the Dream 100 system is. Kind of how those two ideas fit together.
So, one, cold calling is what everybody always says, the archaic idea of finding a list of leads and then you calling them to offer your business. Setting up meetings in order to get consultations, estimates, in order to generate the final sales close. And how it relates to the Dream 100 is the Dream 100 is the list of 100 people that could make your business by saying yes.
So you want to make a list of the vendors that you want to refer you, of the clients you want to have on your radio show, or the interviewees you want to have, the vendors that you want to refer you, the ideal clients. You want to make a list of 100 clients that if you were to work with them, it would change your life.
Right.
100 referral sources that could change your life. Maybe the stores you want to get your product into. You got to make a list of your 100 dream. When I say dream, too, I'm talking about unbelievable, like game-changing. I'm not talking about a weak dream. I'm talking about a huge dream. Like if you landed these referrals, you would be rich. Don't make a list. Don't make a Dream 100 list where it's like your homies that know ye from high school. I'm talking about put some life-changing types of referrals. As an example, back in the day when I ran DJ Connection, I wanted to get Fascianos to refer me. It's a bridal store. Now, why would I want to get Fascianos to refer me, Dr. Breck? Why would I want a bridal store to refer me? If I have a DJ company, DJconnection.com, why would I want this Fascianos to refer me?
Because I would assume one of your biggest revenue sources is weddings as a DJ. And so if the place where the brides are going to get the dresses is saying, hey, this is the guy to use, now you're in. You're in like Flint.
I wanted to get the Fascianos to refer me, the business, and I wanted to get the unlimited soup and the salad and the bread sticks, but I wanted to get the referrals from Fascianos. And I go in there to talk to Jennifer, and I say, will you refer me? I think her maiden name was like Evidaducci or something. It's Jennifer Thompson now, but at the time it was Jennifer Evidaducci. And I said, Jennifer, can I get a referral? And she says, no. And she says, your Italian accent is bad. It's awful. Furthermore,
it's offensive.
Furthermore, stop, but no, I went in there and I asked her, would you, I'm a DJ company. It's called DJconnection.com. Love it if you'd refer me. And I remember her looking at me nicely and says, no. And I'm going, come on, baby. Come on. She, don't call me baby. And I didn't say that part, but she did say no. And I thought to myself, getting in my van. I had a van. It's an Astro van. I got in my van. I'm going, I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
But just to tell you kind of the time and place of this is when Dr. Dre, it was his newest album, because Dr. Dre it was the newest album. It was the next episode was out at the time. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was when Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre would do an album like every 10 years.
Yeah.
And
Still waiting on the Chronic 2.
There we go. So I was like, so I'm in my car listening to this, and I'm going, frick. Got the subwoofer on. She just told me no. I wonder what she means by that. So I wonder what she means by that. And so I turned it up a little bit louder, because I wanted to really get that Dr. Dre going. And then I realized that she meant no.
Yep.
So I went back to her and the other 100 people on my list every week.
Yeah.
Now, why, Jason, would I go back every week?
Because consistency matters. And if somebody says no and you feel shot down and you don't pursue it a second time, then you're just losing. Because what's the statistic? Somebody has to click an ad how many times?
4.7 times
so
per month, according to the retargeting playbook.
Right. So it's the same thing in real life. If you go to somebody and they say no, ask again. And then eventually they'll realize that you are serious, and they will realize that their business means something to you because you've come to them repeatedly asking for a referral.
So I got my blue suit on, got my red tie on again, white shirt, going back. Gonna go see Jennifer with Fascianos. So I get out of my car. I'm going, I got this. I walk in. There's no music. There's no soundtrack. There's no motivation. And she says, no. And I'm thinking, frick, man. So I went back and I read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, again. Reading that book. I'm just going to these 100 venues over and over. I went to the Renaissance freaking Hotel over and over. Talked to Don. Do you know Don Leet?
I don't.
I keep thinking these unicorn moments are going to keep happening.
No.
You know,
I don't know nothing.
Yeah, I do. We're best friends. Okay, so anyway, I go there to Fasciano's, and I go to the Renaissance Hotel. And I go to Five Oaks over there with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Randy, go to Five Oaks, go to Renaissance, go to Fasciano's. Then I go to Tarp Chapel. Go to Tarp Chapel, go to Five Oaks, go to the Renaissance, go to Fasciano's. Keep going in the circle. And then eventually the Renaissance Hotel called back and they said, are you saying that you're willing to DJ for any bride that we have, one event for free and one event for our staff to show what you can do? I said, yes, 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 yes. And then they said, okay, we'll do a free event. And Jason, I DJ'd the crap out of that staff party for the Renaissance Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I put on a laser show. People were loving it. They were feeling it. And you know what happened? They started referring me.
Right.
But you know what would have happened by entropy, by default, by sitting around, by lamenting, by complaining, by putting off the rejection? What would have happened?
Nothing would have happened.
Right. No thing would have happened.
And we wouldn't be listening to you today.
True.
You got to stay consistent. And I believe this, and for those of you who need to put a spiritual spin on it to get it, I'm on your team. I believe that I've read the Bible a lot, and I know that in the Bible, Proverbs 10:4, it says, God blesses the hands of the diligent. Proverbs 10:4, it says that. Now, diligence, what does that word mean? Diligence means the steady application of effort. Steady. The steady application. It says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. So I've always just put my head down and I go back. I go back. I go back. I keep going back. I go back. Keep going back. I go back. I keep going back. I keep going back and I go back and I keep going back. And then all of a sudden, it's like the seeds that I was sowing are now being watered and then I get a harvest, but I don't stop. I call them all till they cry, buy, or die.
Yep.
And I don't know how to put that seed within you, but I do know that in the Bible, God is pretty intense about work ethic. It says in Exodus and Genesis, both Exodus and Genesis, that we are to work 6 days per week and rest on the Sabbath. Work. And in the Hebrew language that the Bible was originally written in, the Old Testament was written in the Hebrew language, the word work means to worship. All right? So Proverbs 10:4 says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. But work as unto the Lord is a concept that Colossians 3:23-24 reads, whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, a.k.a. Jennifer Fasciano's, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Wow, that's good. You should repeat that. Is that in a book? Did you write that yourself? That's really nice. No, it's in the Bible.
Number one bestseller of all
Jason,
time.
I need some freaking echoes here. Here we go. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Yes, mega points. Holy cow, bomb blast. Take us to church. You've got to put your hand to the freaking plow. Now. You've got to execute. You got to implement. It's the time to get sweaty is now. You are ready to get sweaty. Quit reading the books. Implement. Stop hiding behind your degrees and smoking trees. Get up. Do something. I'm serious. I get so frustrated. Quit telling me about your anxiety. Maybe I need pot. Stop it. Every freaking doctor in America will prescribe for you pot because it's profitable. You've got to get out there and shut up and implement. You got to implement. You've got to implement. You have got to implement. You've got to put your hand to the plow. You've got to listen to this Steve Jobs quote right about now.
You have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard. And you have to do it over a sustained period of time.
Oh, take us
so
to
if you
church,
don't love
Steve.
it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough.
So Jesus, who is exceptional,
What?
is having a conversation with ordinary.
We're having a conversation with your ordinary self.
Exceptional and ordinary always have a conflict.
Yes.
Anytime exceptional people dwell in the midst of ordinary thinking people, there's always going to be conflict.
Right now, you're having a conversation in your mind between the ordinary self and the extraordinary self, and you have to decide who's going to win.
Yeah.
You've got to get unstuck. Dr. Breck, there's so many people that get stuck. How do we get stuck? How do we get unstuck? You were once stuck. You got unstuck, Dr. Breck. How did you get unstuck?
I honestly got tired of losing. I just got sick and tired of losing. And so I just had to make a decision to do something differently. And that was one of the biggest things was actually implementing what I was learning, hiring a coach, going a different direction.
To me, it was the embarrassment of being a professional who it's hard to argue you're a professional when you don't get paid very much at all or anything. Mm-hmm. And being a DJ with a lot of equipment,
right,
a lot of fog machines and a lot of CDs and no clients, that embarrassment, or as I like to say, that bare-assment of just having my bare ass out there for everyone to see that I got nothing.
Right.
I mean, that's bad. That's a bad spot, right? And that's what drove me to get unstuck. I don't know what drives you, but you cannot get stuck. Jason, what happens when you get stuck and you say, I did my best? Like when you didn't do your best, but you say, I did my best. What happens?
Well, you're giving yourself false confidence, and so the next time you approach something, your best gets less and less.
And what happens if you start to celebrate non-wins but say they're wins? As an example, what if you celebrate likes on Facebook versus actual deals? Like, what if you get those Dr. Breck, you've seen this before. Marketing people love that.
Yeah.
You celebrate how clean your site looks. You celebrate your new business cards. That's a win.
That's a win.
Oh, I got new business cards.
Now we're on to something.
No, it's only a win for the company that printed the cards.
Right.
Now, I'm going to cue up this sample of Dane Cook talking about I did my best.
Yes.
And then, Jason, I want you to preach the good news as we recover from this.
Okay.
As to the difference between doing your best and actually getting results. So I want you to praise a client that's actually getting results. Think of a client in your mind.
Well,
Whether
right
you're a
before
client,
you do, let me tell you, we were cleaning out some things yesterday at home, and my wife came across an old schedule book of mine.
Yeah.
And she was like, look at this. You had like 5 patients that day.
5.
I was like, all day. 5. I was like, that is terrible.
Yeah.
She goes, but look how far you've come.
How many patients does your practice see on a daily basis now?
On average, it's about 60, 65.
Wow. I'm gonna hit.
I mean, a high day is about 70 or so, but on average, it's about 60.
You've moved beyond doing your best. You've moved into a place where you're actually getting results. That's where we want to get all clients to. Here's a little audio sample for you.
Then as you're crying, what happens is it starts to feel good that you're crying like that. And what you do is you latch on to one phrase that you just repeat over and over again. Just something that means something to you. You're like, I did my best. I did my best. I did my best.
You can't go out there and just keep saying, I did my best, I did my best, I did my best. You have to actually get results. Jason, talk to us about a client that's either your client or someone else's client, somebody that you know about, a real success story who moved beyond just doing their best.
So one of my personal clients, and I know I shouted them out ad nauseum, but I have to do it because she doesn't just do her best, she gets results. And that's Christina with Angel's Touch Auto Body and Repair in Bourne, Massachusetts. The woman grinds. She does her best every day by having a consistent schedule, a to-do list. She asks for reviews. She does constant follow-up. And she herself has mentioned, like, I ask her, hey, if somebody doesn't give you a Google review, what do you do? She says, well, we ask for Facebook reviews, but I don't play the game of just talking about likes. She goes, I tried that before. Likes don't get me anywhere. I know that I have to actually get leads. So she advertises. She asks for reviews. She's super consistent. And but she never just says, oh, I did my best and got nothing done. She says, I did my best and then crushed everything.
3 final examples to build up your faith that cold calling or Dream 100 marketing actually works. 1, Travis Kalinick, who started Uber, writes, I went to Google, typed in San Francisco chauffeur or San Francisco limousine. I just filled out an Excel sheet, just started dialing for dollars, right? First 10 guys I called, 3 of them hung up before I got a few words out. A few of them would listen for like 45 seconds and then hung up. And 3 of them said, I'm interested, let's meet. And if you're cold calling and 3 out of 10 say, let's meet, you've got something.
Right.
3 out of 10 is a very high number.
It is.
Another example, Ryan Tedder, who I went to college with at Oral Roberts University. Ryan has a hit show now called Songland. By the way, he's now a TV producer too. That show it's unbelievable. Right now they've had 4 episodes I've watched, and they've had 3 hit songs that have hit the top or near the top of iTunes charts already. Come from that. It's unbelievable. It's a great show where you can watch unknown songwriters pitch their songs to celebrity producers, and then they get to choose which song they're going to produce for a hit artist. So people like John Legend and Will.i.am have actually turned the songs written by an unknown artist into a song that they're actually featuring on their albums right now. It is awesome.
That is awesome.
But let me cue up this interview with Ryan from the Today Show.
And I would literally then work my way up.
Here we go. This is him.
I'd call the complaint hotline.
This is Ryan Tedder explaining. Ryan's explaining how he cold called his way to a start in the music industry. Here we go.
Gave Tedder his first break.
At the back of every CD that you'd buy or DVD, there'd be a number. If you have issues or whatever, calls and complaints, I'd call the complaint hotline. Somebody would pick up eventually after like 100 calls. How can I help you? Oh, and I'd say, oh, I'm sorry. I was on the phone with HR, Human Resources, and I think they misconnected me.
Crafty.
And I would literally then work my way up. They would keep. Oh, I'm sorry, because they always feel so bad.
Right.
And then they would connect me up to the. Eventually, I'm talking with the head of HR of Paramount Pictures from a dorm room in Tulsa. I got a call from DreamWorks one day. It was their Nashville office, and they had just opened a record label and a publishing company. And they're like, we want you to work for the publishing company of DreamWorks. Through a complaint hotline, I ended up in Nashville.
That's unbelievable.
That's how it works, though. That is how you get the deals. Another example, Lori Montag, my friend, she created a product called the Slap Watch. And here is Lori Montag's product.
And you look rich.
On the Ellen Show. Here we go.
All right. Uh-oh.
Here we go. Let me cue it up.
Well, that really... Something else I found that is actually really, really cool. These things, have you seen these things? These are called a slap watch. And what you do, because sometimes you don't have time to buckle a watch on, you just got to go and you just do that, and then it just gets right put on your hand like that.
There it is. There, Lori Montag, Tulsa's very own Lori Montag of Montag Photography, featured on Ellen. Here's another one. Here we go. That's an interview with me. That's probably, let me get another one here. Let me get it. I've got it. I think I have it right on the corner. This would be the slap watch.
ThoughtExchange.com.
Thank you. Sarah, what's your favorite
My
thing?
thing is the coolest thing ever. This is called a slap watch. It's $19.95 at slapwatch.com.
Kathy Lee and Hoda.
The little things, and you can take the watch head out and change the bands as much as you want.
So you can take it to the beach?
To the pool, run.
Take it off,
Could
put
you
it on.
take your Invisibelt with it?
Tulsa's very own on the Kathy Lee and Hoda show. It's just, if you're out there today and you have ambition, meaning you have an aim and a mission, I encourage you, you can achieve success, but you've got to take action. That is my passion, is to help you get unstuck. But passionately being wrong doesn't make you right.
Nope.
Now, we have a question from a Thriver that just emailed us here this morning. This is Dr. Tim in Tuscaloosa, and he writes, I'd love to hear Z's comments on this too. I was wondering if you could discuss market segmentation and targeting. How big of a market do you need to make this work? On the internet, where you have billions of people, or even New York City where you have millions of people, niche segmentation makes sense. But if there aren't any competitors in your town, you probably don't need to jump to sub-specializing. I was also curious if Z targeted one specific market segment and why. Well, Thrive Nation, I promise we will answer that question on a future show, but I guess because Z's not here today, we should probably wait to answer that when he's here. Right. But Dr. Tim, thank you for sending in the question, and we will answer that question on a future show. And we like to end each and every show with a boom, and so Jason, are you prepared to end with a boom?
I'm so hyped.
Dr. Breck, are you prepared?
I am ready.
He is prepared. All right, now without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, let's just say that you're out there listening today and you have a website for your business. The question I would have for you is, are you getting the most number of leads possible? Are you ranking high? Wow.
Touching the canvas.
Can't feel my face. Or are you ranking low in the Google search engine results? Again, I ask, are you ranking high? Or are you ranking low on the Google search engine search results? Take a moment today and do a Google search for the keywords that you want to come up top for and see where you are ranking. We have Josh Spurl, a CPA from Canada, and we have Dr. Timothy Johnson here from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Josh Spurl, how in the heck are you?
Doing pretty good, Clay. Yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well here. We're not broadcasting from the Man Cave studios as normal, so we got a little bit of background noise there to contend with, but we're here. And I wanted to see if you could share with the Thrive Nation approximately how long you and I have been working together and how that's impacted the number of inbound leads that you're generating as a result of your Google search engine ranking and internet marketing.
Well, we've been working together, Clay, now for almost a year. It was about a year ago I came out to my first conference, and then we started with the coaching program shortly after that. And, you know, our Google leads have gone from, you know, something that we would generate, you know, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 leads a year to, you know, we're talking about 3 to 9 leads every single week.
And now we have Dr. Timothy Johnson in the box from Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, so I'm at Southern Eye Consultants. It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We heard about you on the podcast, and I had a lot of trepidation at first about getting involved, just making sure it was legit. But all my expectations have been exceeded.
What concerns did you have about our legitness or lack thereof?
I was just concerned about back-end upselling, what I was getting into.
That's what I found. My entire career, yeah. I had been. Had you guys been to Dr. Tim? Had you been to other workshops or had other industry coaching before? Because I had hired a lot of them, frankly, and I just found I spent. I would be lying if I said hundreds of thousands. It's been more than that.
Oh, we hired somebody to do our website right before we found you.
Yeah,
and it was 3 or 4 months of your coaching service, and we still haven't launched that website yet.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So if somebody out there's thinking about filling out the form, if someone's thinking about emailing us to info@thrivetimeshow.com, that's info@thrivetimeshow.com, and they have a little bit of hesitation. Just a little bit, I don't know. Just a little bit. What advice would you have for them, Dr. Tim?
First of all, come to one of the conferences. You'll see that he may dress like Bill Belichick, but my wife's a Pats fan, so that was a real selling point.
Nice.
She thought you were a hobo, but I said, no, he's just Bill Belichick. She goes, okay, you can go.
Nice.
But it's also month to month, so try it, and if you don't like it, cancel.
That deserves a mega point. Yeah. So again, where has your sales gone up? Have you increased your sales? I mean, where's your financial? I'm not asking for the hard number here, but as a percentage, how much are you up since you started with the program? 4 months ago versus now?
Our sales have gone up 20%. We're looking to scale Southern Eye Consultants, and just the number of patients who come in because they found us on Google has gone up a lot. I text you once a week.
Yeah,
you paid for yourself just in somebody walking in. So.
Oh, Billy. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Again, if you're out there today and you feel stuck, just email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. info@thrivetimeshow.com. Let us begin to do a deep dive analysis on your website. We'll tell you what's wrong with it. We're going to do a 37-point audit of your website. Our member of our team will call you. They'll go over it with you. They'll break it down. You'll understand what you need to do to improve. I'll give you the final words here, guys. So I'll start with you, Captain Spurl, Josh Spurl, CPA. As Captain Canada and as a man who's been to 2 workshops now, we got an audience, picture 500,000 people listening here. What is the advice that you would tell them?
I think they got to come out to a workshop. You know, it's the best one that I've ever seen. You know, I find that most of the workshops I've been to, you're sitting around all day for one good idea, and you're getting a good idea every single hour at these workshops.
Dr. Tim, what is the word of encouragement, maybe discouragement, maybe the motivation, maybe the verbal tasering? What advice would you give for the listeners out there today?
I'd say the worst idea you can do is not starting now. Just call and start now, and you'll be better off for it.
You heard them right there. Thrive Nation, go to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Allow us to do a free 37-point analysis of your website. We'll tell you what's wrong. We'll tell you how to fix it. If you're not ranking high enough in those Google search engine results, it will literally cost your company millions and millions and millions of dollars. But don't take my word for it. Go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the testimonials button. And as of the time of this recording, we have over 1,000 video reviews from my clients I've had from 2008 up until now, from conference attendees. You're just an email away from becoming a game-changing success story. Email us today at info@thrivetimeshow.com. And we like to end every show and every shameless testimonial session with a boom. And so now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom.